The common beaver is a hardworking builder. The beaver is a large semi-aquatic animal, a member of the group of rodents. The beaver is also called the river beaver. This animal impresses with its skills. It is an experienced builder, an excellent host, and a model family man. The common beaver is the second largest rodent in the world. In this article you will find a description and photos of the common beaver, and learn many new and interesting things about these rodents. What do beavers look like? Before we tell you what beavers look like, we want to make a little clarification. Very often when people use the words beaver and beaver, they mean the same thing, that is, the rodent itself. But these two words have different meanings. So, beaver is the name of the animal, and its fur is called beaver. So what do beavers look like? The common beaver looks like a large rodent. The body length of the animal reaches 1 meter, height up to 35 centimeters, with a body weight of 32 kilograms. The beaver's tail is up to 30 centimeters long and up to 13 centimeters wide. A surprising fact of these rodents is that females outnumber males in size. The common beaver has short legs and a stocky body. The hind paws of the river beaver are much stronger than the fore paws. The second toe of the hind paws has a claw that is bifurcated, which the beaver uses to comb his fur like a comb. These animals carefully take care of their fur coat. On his feet, rodent has swimming webs and strong thickened claws. Beavers look quite unusual because of its amazing tail. The beaver's tail resembles an oar. It is flat, hairless, and covered with horny scales. The common beaver has a large head with a narrow snout, small eyes, and protruding incisors in the front. The beaver's teeth are special. They are covered with strong enamel, grow their whole lives, and are self-sharpening. The common beaver has small and short ears, which are barely visible in the thick fur. In spite of this, the animal has an excellent hearing. Beavers look like real fur barons because they have beautiful shiny fur. Beaver fur has 2 layers, which provides this rodent with warmth and dryness in cold winters. The first layer of beaver fur consists of coarse, long hair, and the second is a very thick, silky undercoat. Also, the river beaver is protected from the cold by the presence of a fat layer under the skin. Beavers look inconspicuous due to their color. The fur of the common beaver is light brown or dark brown, sometimes even black. Limbs of the animal are black. The tail of the common beaver has fatty deposits and special glands. The odorous substance produced by the tail glands of the rodent is called beaver jet. And the secret of the fatty glands contains all the information about the owner, carries information about his age and sex. Other beavers are guided by the smell of the beaver stream, which is unique for each individual. In the wild, the common beaver lives an average of 15 years. Where do beavers live? In Russia, the beaver lives in the northern Trans-Ural region. Scattered beavers live in the upper Yenisei River, in the Kuzbas, Kemerovo region, in the Baikal region, in Khabarovsk territory, on Kamchatka, and in the Tomsk region. In addition, beavers are found in Mongolia and in northwest China. Beavers live with full equipment for a semi-aquatic lifestyle. Their ear holes and nostrils close underwater. And special blinking membranes cover their eyes, allowing them to see well in the water. The mouth cavity is designed so that water does not enter it while the animal is working underwater. The beaver's tail acts as a rudder in the water. Beavers preferring to inhabit the banks of calm rivers and lakes, ponds, and reservoirs. They avoid fast and wide rivers, as well as bodies of water that freeze to the bottom in winter. The presence of soft hardwood trees, aquatic, grassy and shrubby vegetation in riparian areas, and along the shores of water bodies is important to these rodents. Beavers are excellent divers and swimmers. Thanks to their large lungs, they can stay underwater for up to 15 minutes, and swim up to 750 meters during this time. Therefore, beavers are more confident in water than on land. How do beavers live? Beavers live in families, up to 8 individuals, or singly. A family consists of a married pair and young beavers, brood of the last 2 years. The same area may be used by a family for many generations. Small ponds are occupied by a single beaver or a single family. Larger ponds contain several families, and the length of each individual family plot along the shore ranges from 300 meters to 3 kilometers. Beavers live close to the water, and do not move more than 200 meters from the shoreline. The length of the family plot depends on the abundance of forage. In places where vegetation is abundant, these animals' areas may border each other and even overlap. Beavers mark the borders of their territories. Beavers communicate with each other through the use of scent tags. Beavers communicate with each other through postures, tail taps on water, and whistle-like cries. In case of danger, the beaver slaps its tail loudly on the water and dives. Such a clap gives an alarm signal to all beavers within earshot. Beavers are active at night and at dusk. In summer, they leave their dwellings at dusk and work until dawn. In the fall, beavers prepare for winter and begin stocking up on food. The working day increases to 10 hours. In winter, beavers are less active, their labor activity decreases and shifts to daylight hours. Beavers hibernate in winter, hardly showing themselves on the surface, but they do not go into hibernation. At temperatures below -20 degrees Celsius, the beaver overwinters surrounded by his family, staying in his warm dwelling. Beavers build a new home in late August. Single beavers do not build, but family beavers work very hard. And what is a beaver's dwelling called? There are 2 types of dwellings in one beaver settlement. In the first case, the beaver's home is called a burrow. Beavers live in burrows, they dig them in steep, precipitous banks. For safety, the entrance to such a beaver dwelling is always underwater. Beaver burrows are a kind of maze that has 4 entrances. The walls and ceiling of the beaver's burrow are carefully flattened. The living cabin of the beaver inside the burrow is located at a depth of up to 1 meter and a width of just over a meter, with a height of 50 centimeters. The floor is always above the water level. If the water in the river rises, the beaver raises the floor by scraping earth from the ceiling. All beaver construction activity is dictated by their desire for safety and comfort. Where it is impossible to dig burrows, lodges are built directly on the water in a shallow part of the body of water. Such a beaver dwelling is called a hut, and beavers build these floating houses on the principle of building a dam. Beavers' huts look like cone-shaped islands protruding from the water. The height of such a beaver hut is up to 3 meters, and its diameter is up to 12 meters. The entrance to the dwelling is underwater. The beaver's hut is built from a pile of brushwood, which is bound with silt and earth. Beavers thoroughly coat the walls of their dwelling with silt and clay. Thus, the beaver's hut becomes a solid fortress and air enters through the hole in the ceiling. Inside the beaver hut, there are passages to the water and a platform that is above the water level. When frosts come, beavers additionally put a new layer of clay on the hut with their front paws. In winter, the temperature in the beaver huts is above zero, the water in the passages is not covered with ice crust, and the beavers easily go under the ice of the reservoir. In winter, there is steam over the inhabited beavers' huts. Beavers are real cleaners, they keep their dwellings clean and never litter them. In bodies of water, where the water level fluctuates, beavers build dams or dams. Why do beavers build dams? Damming beavers allows them to raise and maintain the water level of a body of water, regulating it so that the entrances to the huts don't dry out. A dam keeps the beaver hut safe and secure. Beavers build dams from twigs, brushwood, and tree trunks, bracing them with clay, silt, and other materials. If there are stones on the bottom, they are also used in construction. Beavers build dams in places where trees grow closer to the shore. Construction of a beaver dam begins with beavers diving and vertically sticking trunks into the bottom, reinforcing the gaps with branches, and filling the voids with silt, clay, and stones. If there is a tree that has fallen into the river, it often serves as a supporting frame. Beavers gradually cover it on all sides with building materials. Often branches in beaver dams put down roots, which gives additional strength to the structure. A beaver dam is usually up to 30 meters long, up to 6 meters wide, and usually 2 meters high, but it can be up to 4 meters. A beaver dam is a sturdy structure and can easily support the weight of a person. On average, a beaver family takes about a month to build a dam. Beavers are careful to ensure that the dam remains intact and immediately repair it if damage is detected. Beavers fell trees to build the beaver dam and forage. They gnaw them up at the base, chew off the branches, and split the trunk into parts. A tree 7 centimeters in diameter can be felled in 5 minutes. A tree 40 centimeters in diameter is felled and processed by the beaver during the night, so that in the morning there is only a sharpened stump and a pile of shavings. The trunk of a tree that the beaver has worked on, but has not yet fallen, takes the characteristic shape of an hourglass. Some branches of a fallen tree are eaten by beavers on the spot. The rest they carry off or float down the water to the place where the dam or their lodge is built. Each year, the beaver's trampled roots gradually fill up with water, forming beaver canals. The animals use them to float wood forage. These canals can be up to hundreds of meters long. Beavers always keep the canals clean. The area that has been transformed by beavers is called a beaver landscape. Their ability to change the natural landscape is second only to humans. Beavers are some of the most unique animals because they are able to learn and improve their skills throughout their lives. What do beavers eat? Beavers are vegetarians. They are exclusively plant-eating animals. Beavers feed on the bark and shoots of trees. Beavers like birch, willow, aspen, and poplar trees. Beavers also eat a variety of herbaceous plants, lilies, irises, cattails, reeds, and the list goes on for many names. Large numbers of softwood trees are essential to their habitat. Hazel, linden, elm, bird cherry and some other trees are not as important and significant in their diet. They usually do not eat alder and oak, but they use them for building. But acorns the beaver eats eagerly. Large teeth allow beavers to easily handle wood food. Beavers usually eat only a few species of trees. During the summer, the proportion of grassy forage the beaver eats increases. In the fall, management beavers begin to make woody forage for the winter. Therefore, beavers feed on their supplies during the winter. Beavers store them in water, where they retain their nutritional qualities all winter long. The amount of supplies per family can be very large. To keep the food from freezing into the ice, beavers usually melt it below the water level. Therefore, even when a body of water is covered with ice, food remains available to the animals, and the family will be provided with everything they need. Beaver babies. Beavers are monogamous. Once united, they live together for life and remain faithful to each other. The female dominates the family. Beavers become capable of reproduction at 2 years of age. They bear offspring once a year. The mating season lasts from the middle of January to the end of February. The gestation period is 3.5 months. In April and May, 2 to 6 beavers are born. The beaver cubs are born sighted, well covered with fur, and weigh an average of 0.5 kilograms. After 2 days, the beaver cubs can already swim. Beavers take care of their pups. At the age of 1 month, beaver cubs switch to a plant-based diet, but continue to feed on their mother's milk until they are 3 months old. Older beaver cubs usually stay with their parents for another 2 years, at which point the youngsters are removed. What is the usefulness of beavers and what are beavers for? Beavers are useful because their appearance in rivers has a beneficial effect on the ecological system. Beavers are especially useful for building their ponds. Various animals and waterfalls settle in them and bring fish row on their feet and fish appear in the pond. Beavers are needed because their dams help clean the water, they retain silt and reduce turbidity. Beavers are peaceful animals, but they also have enemies in nature: brown bears, wolves, and foxes. But the main threat to beavers comes from humans. As a result of hunting, the common beaver was on the verge of extinction by the beginning of the 20th century. Beavers are exterminated for their fur. In addition, they yield beaver guts, which are used in perfumery and medicine. In order to conserve this valuable animal, effective measures were taken to protect and restore numbers. By the beginning of the 21st century, the beaver population had recovered. Now the common beaver has a minimum risk status in the International Red Book. Currently, the main threat to it is water pollution and construction of hydroelectric power plants. If you liked this video and want to know more interesting things about animals, subscribe to our channel and get the latest and greatest news about the animal world first.